Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I have realized that very many countries are visiting Kenya for benchmarking. Just the other day, we had the ombudsman from Botswana coming to the country, and they visited the ESCC, the Ethic and Anti-Corruption Commission, to find out just the mechanisms that Kenya has put in place on how to fight corruption. Many times, the purpose for benchmarking is to copy and emulate a country that is doing whatever you want to do better. In the case of Botswana, they feel that Kenya is fighting corruption, and to the best of their knowledge, they can emulate a few things. Kenyans know whether this regime is fighting corruption. About 2 days ago, we had a delegation from Uganda. After Kenya had increased the prices of fuel products for the first time in the history of Kenya to a whopping 200 shillings, something that experts say has never happened, and it is because of the Finance Bill 2023. So the delegation came to Kenya to find out how they are coping up with the challenges and how they can maneuver and adjust. And I have a problem with these benchmarkings. Now, just today, another delegation from the USA visited one of the most controversial bodies in Kenya that has caused us pain, and that is the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And this is what the IEBC is saying, that the commission today hosted a delegation from the American Council of Young Political Leaders who are in the country on a benchmarking visit to learn more on Kenyans' experience in the management of elections. The commission took the delegation through the history of Kenyan election since independence, the successes and challenges experienced. It did end there. That was the commission, and they were saying that the commission continues to receive invitations to make presentations in global electoral forums on various thematic areas, having been highly lauded by both local and international observers on the conduct of the 2022 general election in their final observation report. That was none other than the IEBC CEO, Marjan. Now, I don't know whether there are people who are wondering aloud, just like I, because for those who watched my video on the Botswana delegation who came to benchmark on corruption, I went and just wanted to find out what is the purpose of benchmarking, and I realized that the key word is whenever there is a body or an institution or a country that offers any goods or services that are better than yours, or the way they do their things in an area that you want to research, then you can go to that person or body because they do it better. When someone comes to Kenya that they want to learn how we fight corruption, it is a fallacy at the height of hypocrisy, because I have a feeling that the ombudsman from Botswana wasted taxpayers' money. And then when I see the Ugandans coming to Kenya, when people are complaining about the high prices of fuel, I know it is a global problem, but it has been caused highly by the Finance Bill 2023. Now let us go back to the IEBC issue. We have a commission that has wasted our money in 3 elections, 2013, 2017, and 2022. Every time they conduct an election for the periods that I've mentioned, there has been controversy. Elections have gone to the Supreme Court, and they have been found wanting. In fact, for the records, the former Chief Justice, David Maraga, a man I always described like a man who has the heart of a lion, faced the powers that be and told them off that the elections were not done in accordance with the Kenyan constitution. In other words, because he was just trying to use judicial term. In other words, he was telling them elections were rigged. And he mentioned that election is not an event that we wake up one day and vote and you say it was clear, free and fair. It is a process that begins with even acquiring materials. For them to take the time to come and they want to benchmark on election, really, it is one thing. Because our election, especially the 2022 election that they are talking about, was one of the worst, one that we have never seen. And I know they are doing this because America is at the height of interfering with our elections. They are also saying this because the US ambassador had also indicated that the last election was the freest ever that we have ever had. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to be fair. Sometimes I say we reason without looking at our political affiliation or tribal affiliation. Our election has been very wanting, and the only election that experts argue that has ever been free and transparent and verifiable was the election in 2002, when there was a revolution. People were tired of the Nyayo regime. The others have been shambolic. How can America be talking about free elections when Cherera and Irene Masit are running for their dear lives because someone wants to interfere with them here? Someone wants to kill them because of the last elections. How could we be talking about free elections when Rosalyn Akombe is in the US, where this delegation is coming from, because she ran for her dear life? Someone wanted to kill her. We are talking about free and fair elections when Musando was murdered, and then someone wants to come to benchmark in our country. What a fallacy. Even as we speak, many experts believe that the 2027 election has already been rigged because the judiciary is intact, the 7-member bench. The IEBC, there will be a certain changes here and there, but those commissions will either, the ones that will be in office will either be compromised very fast or threatened. I don't know why there is this obsession by other countries coming to Kenya. Maybe it is because of the manner in which William Ruto goes to the international forums and he makes speeches and they give him a standing ovation, and the way even the US president talks about him, and so people feel, wow, Kenya is a hub it is a small paradise. Why can't we open this up? Because anytime we talk about election, there is this gesture of, can we open the server? After taking us round and round for a whole year, the IEBC said that they were ready to open that server. But do you think it will contain the will of the people? The result, us, the people who woke up very early in the morning, voted, it will not. And my point here is, we should not be, deceiving other countries that we are living in paradise. Especially when I see a delegation from a developed country like the US, and these are young people, the Council of Young Politicians. They should look for the best, and maybe we don't have the best, because if Kenya is one of their best, then globally, the global world and the political, religious and social world is just rotten to the core. It stinks to high heavens, because you cannot tell me that they have not followed even through the website, the way people have fought, the way people went to the street and they were butchered. So this is just a waste of time. It is hoodwinking the other countries. Yesterday, Ngugi Mutai told William Ruto that you are very popular at the international level, but back at home, things are different. William Ruto gets a lot of praises when he's abroad, when he's visiting the other countries. But in Kenya, prices of the basic commodities are skyrocketing. We are riddled with corruption. We are trying to fight the Al-Shabaab and insecurities rocking our country. He never sits down to listen to the people, and things are just bad. But I see countries coming here to benchmark. I sympathize with them because really it's a waste of time. If the IEBC wants us to trust them, let them be honest. I don't see any institution in Kenya that I can trust, whether it is IEBC, our courts, the office of the public prosecution, the office of the DCI. All of them have been captured by the executive, and William Ruto is really working with them as a puppet. And maybe just the same way the US and the UK is, operating as a puppet.